Hey, so Shalom, Kalalal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai. Just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. This is the voice of Jacob coming back at you with another video. And my name is Brother Gabar Allah. Lord willing, this will be edifying and thought-provoking in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Also, double honors to the apostles and elders, bishops of GMS that do teach well. To you I say shalom, and shalom unto the hopeful elect. All right, so I was just watching this from CP24 here. It says Jimmy Kimmel's cancellation came after threats from ABC affiliates. Now here's another article. This is from Politico.com. Disney pulls Jimmy Kimmel live indefinitely following Kirk comments. The network came under fire from the FCC chair and conservatives after Kimmel's response to Charlie Kirk's killing. You see that? So now they're pulling this guy, and they're pulling other people off the air too. Anybody that speaks against Trump and his regime, gonna pull you off the air, and that's not democracy at all. That's going against your rights, right? So now we're in a fascist society. It's very authoritative, and that's what you're seeing. So this is going to be a continuation from the previous video that I did yesterday, going into Pam Bondi and her comments in regards to attacking hate speech, in regards to talking negatively about Charlie Kirk and his death, right? So basically, if you talk about me in a bad way and I don't agree with you, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to silence you. And that's what we're seeing here, right? Right, so they're attacking this comedian, man, Jimmy Kimmel. And one thing about comedians, man, usually they tell you the truth, but they do it in a very sarcastic and facetious manner. And at the same time, it's very funny, right? Comedians really tell you the truth most of the time. So what's happening to this comedian? So what more the men of the Lord? Because that's what we're coming into. That's what I see. I see Amos 8 and 11, and also Revelation 12 and 12, and Revelation 2 and 10. You being thrown into prison for teaching the truth, bringing out the word of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. That's what it's going to come down to, right? Because free speech. Remember, we're under free speech too. That's how the Lord set it up for us as well. He put these laws in place to help us bring out the word for a period of time, right? So, hey man, you men of the Lord that are out there, be prepared to be thrown into prison or to lose your life. Okay. Anyways, man, but yeah, a lot of you people, you didn't think that this was gonna happen. When we go into topics like pressure from above and below, Hegelian dialectic, you guys just view that as what? Political rhetoric than philosophy. You just see it as political rhetoric. That's how you see it, right? You see it more as political rhetoric than philosophy. But now, hey, it's coming to pass, man. It's coming to pass. You called pressure from above and below conspiracy theories. You disrespected the prophets. You disrespected all these so-called conspiracy researchers, right? That were connecting Hegelian dialectic and pressure from above and below, all the points, and comparing and contrasting it to what's going on in the world that we live in, right? Come on, man. Hey, this is a good example of never letting a good crisis go to waste, right? And that's what these leaders are doing through the political strategy that they're using, called Hegelian dialectic, right? Pressure from above and below. That's what you're seeing, right? They create or exploit crises to push pre-planned solutions, Salakia, right? This is what we're seeing now. Who made that quote? Never let a good crisis go to waste. Winston Churchill. Yeah, you see this devil? He said that many years ago when he was in power. He was the former prime minister of Britain. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Isn't that what we're seeing? Right? Charlie Kirk's death is being used, right? it's being used, right, to take away your rights and to push you away from the truth, right? America is becoming more authoritative, meaning they're going to take your rights away, and rightfully so, because this place is circling down the drain, and we're at the end of Esau, Edom's kingdom, pursuing to 2 Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that falleth. And he's going to do whatever it takes to maintain and keep power by any means, man. Revelation 12 and 12. For he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That's why this devil's going to come down with what? Having great wrath. Yeah. It involves taking your so-called rights away. And that's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Because this is all prophesied in the scriptures, man. This is all prophesied by the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Alright, man. So I'm going to play the clip. But before I do that, let me get this precept. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. I brought this out in my previous videos. In the previous videos going into this topic. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. That's right, taking your rights away. Yeah, that's very grievous, man. And that's unrighteous. Because now it's going against your amendments, man. You don't agree with me, and you talk ill about me, and I don't like it, I'm cutting you off. And I'm going to censor you. And Donald Trump agreed. Right, he agreed with what Pam Bondi was saying, and these different critics that have come out and censored Jimmy Kimmel. You're gonna see it when I play the clip, right? They all agreed. He agreed. He was happy about that. Verse 2: to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor. And who's the poor? Who are the ones that are needy? Right, you Israelites first and foremost. Right, and really this is going to affect you. Because now this is going to be an attack on the word. That's what I see. Right? They want to cut you off from being a nation. What better way to do it from taking away the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai? Because the Bible itself, the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai go against the so-called white man and these other nations. Okay, it goes against Amalek, the small hatters. It goes against the MOTB, the beast system, a cashless society. It goes against that, pursuant to Jeremiah 28 and 8. Right? Anyways, let me continue on. It says, take away the right from my people, the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. There you go. So let's play the clip.
Jimmy Kimmel's late night show has been taken off the air indefinitely over recent comments he made about the killing of Charlie Kirk. Let's go live to CTV's Scott Hurst, who's following the details of this story. Scott, what are we learning behind this move? Why was he essentially taken off the air?
Jamie, good morning. First and foremost, of course, Jimmy Kimmel in that time slot on late night comedy for quite some time, a well-known comedian, not just in the U.S., but obviously very familiar to Canadian audience as well. But really a whole lot of controversy surrounding the show and surrounding Jimmy Kimmel. ABC, which is owned by Disney, confirming it's indefinitely pulling Jimmy Kimmel live. In response to comments he made about the killing of Charlie Kirk, criticizing Republicans for how they responded to Kirk's killing. Now, ABC's move came just hours after the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, the chairman, threatened to take action against Disney and ABC over Kimmel's remarks, as well as Nexstar Media, a large TV and media provider across the country, which operates 23 ABC affiliates where Jimmy Kimmel Live was aired, said it would pull the show right away, calling the comments that Jimmy Kimmel made offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse. And so really a groundswell of criticism leading to ABC, Disney, pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jamie, from its airwaves right away.
You can imagine there's going to be no shortage of reaction, especially across the broadcasting landscape. And we've already seen some other late night hosts show get canceled. Tell us more about kind of the reaction, what's being said.
Jamie, you're right. No shortage of reaction in the U.S. and in Canada. First and foremost, let's start with reaction from the U.S. president himself, Donald Trump, calling it in a social media post late last night, quote, "Great news for America," congratulating ABC. And then in the same message on social media, calling out NBC, saying it should also cancel Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, two comics who also take many jabs at Donald Trump. Both Disney and Nexstar, I should point out, have FCC business ahead of them. Both need regulatory approval and therefore a go-ahead from the Trump administration. And as you mentioned, all of this following the July cancellation of CBS The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, another Trump critic. CBS citing financial reasons for axing that broadcast, that late-night comedy show, but a decision that Trump celebrated also online. And some critics have wondered if his stance on Trump played a role. Soon after the Colbert cancellation, the FCC approved CBS parent company Paramount's long-pending deal with Skydance. And so a lot of the fallout from this, Jamie, many people say this is raising significant questions about free speech.
CTV's Scott Hurst, thank you.
Yeah, so there you have it, man. You had a lot of those affiliate-owned channels or stations. I mean, they were catching a lot of pressure from the FCC, which is the U.S. Federal Communications Commission. That's the FCC. That's what it stands for. I believe the chairman is Brendan Carr. And by the way, he came on as well, and he publicly criticized Kimmel's remarks, accusing him of misleading the public about the political affiliations of the shooter. And yeah, man, and that's why ABC, which I believe ABC is owned by Disney, and then also you had Nexstar Media, which owns many ABC affiliate stations. They didn't. That's why they indefinitely suspended this guy's show off the air because of the pressure that they were receiving from the FCC chairman Brendan Carr. So there you go, and guess what? Brendan Carr is in league with Trump, and Trump was happy about this. Trump is happy about this. So hey, man, you talk negatively about the people that are in power now. Hey, now you're being taken off the air. You're being silenced. And now that shows you America is circling down the drain. It's no longer a democracy. It is a fascist society now, a fascist state. So, hey, that's what happens, man. That's what happens. So, hey, it is what it is. We get this. This is Galatians chapter 4, verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? And, comedians, they'd usually tell you the truth in a very funny way. It's usually funny, facetious, and sarcastic. And they're very blunt with how they say things. That's how comedians are, right? So now this guy has become an enemy because of... he has become an enemy of Donald Trump because of what he said. Now, hey, that's going to happen to you men of the Lord, the followers of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Hey, the world hated Yahweh Shai for telling the truth. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you, brothers, that are teaching the truth right now on the highways and byways. They're coming after you because we fall under the banner of free speech and what we do when it comes to going out there on the highways and byways. That's all freedom of speech. And pursuant to Jeremiah 28:8, we're prophesying the downfall of this kingdom because that's what the prophets do. They prophesied against great kingdoms. Isn't Babylon the great? America a great kingdom? Hell yeah. Right? So, hey, this applies to us. So, yeah, man, you're going to make a lot of enemies. And it's going to show. All right, so this is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. That's right, censorship. And you're no longer going to have the prophets going out there on the highways and byways because it's going to become illegal for you to go out there and teach the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, so we're in that time. That time's coming. The time's coming, man. It's right around the corner. This devil's going to do whatever it takes to stay in power. He is grasping at straws right now. Let me get this. This is Revelation 12 and 12. 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, end of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. There you go. Yeah, man. And he's going to show his horns, man. And he's not going to be democratic with your ass. He's going to be very authoritative. So, hey, be prepared to see more draconian laws and measures. Okay, really draconian laws being passed, okay? Your rights being taken away, your First Amendment rights or your constitutional rights being taken away. Okay? He's going to do it. And you might lose your life too. And you're going to be thrown in prison just for speaking the truth. Let me get that. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You see that? Yeah, man. So you're going to be tried. You're going to be thrown into prison. And yes, you might lose your life. And that 10 days is not an actual 10 days, man. Okay, it's how long, the Lord sees fit for you to be tried or to go through that tribulation. You can be locked up for a long time. Yeah, and you know what comes with you being locked up in prison. You can be tortured as well. But you have to be faithful unto death. Okay, so you're going to lose your life, most likely. Men will lose their lives. Just like how Yahushua lost his life, right? Now, let me get John chapter 15, verse 18. It says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. There you go. So the world hates Yahushua, therefore it's going to hate you. Scripture says the servant is not greater than his Lord or his master, right? So there you go. That's why you're going to catch a lot of flack for pushing the truth. And you're going to possibly lose your life for pushing the truth. So there you go. Let's get this. This is Proverbs chapter 31, verse 8. Open thy mouth for the dumb and the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. See, and that's what you're supposed to do when you go out there on the highways and byways. Right? Because when you go out there, when you bring out the truth on the highways and byways, that's real liberation. You're fighting for liberation. You're fighting for freedom. That's what you're doing. Let me just get this in the NLT so you get a better understanding. So this is Proverbs chapter 31, verse 8. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Ensure justice for those being crushed. That's right. And that's what you do when you go out there on the highways and byways. You're giving them a voice, just like what my channel is called, Voice of Jacob. This is speaking up for the elect that comes out of the nation of Israel, going into the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because that's what the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai are about. Justice, judgment, also going into the weightier matters of the law as well, right? Because that's what you're going to be speaking about. Right? You're going to be waking up your people to their nationality, waking them up from sleep, right? Bringing them closer to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Verse 9, it says, yes, speak up for the poor and helpless, and see that they get justice. That's right. Right? That's self-explanatory. Speak up for the poor. So anyways, man, links will be in the description. I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. This is the Voice of Jacob. My name is Brother Gabar Yala. Lord willing, this was edifying and thought-provoking in the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of GMS that I do learn this truth from. To you I say shalom. And shalom unto the hopeful elect. Kwam Yasha Allah and Abad Babal. Shalom.